Hi, I'm Mark from Valor Excel. Microsoft Teams is an incredible tool that you can leverage to help the people in your organization to collaborate in ways that they never could otherwise. Whether you own and operate a small business or a nonprofit, you can utilize Microsoft Teams to help the people in your organization as they develop programs and projects. And it can enable you to do things that you never could in any other context because it's cloud-based. You can operate in it remotely. You can access files and conversations from any location. And that can tremendously open up possibilities for you to grow and develop. So let's take a look under the hood and see everything that Microsoft Teams has to offer. With Microsoft Teams, you actually have a couple of different options. So I'd recommend going out to Microsoft.com and taking a look at them side by side so that you can compare the features and the functionality and see what is the best fit for you. Interestingly enough, they actually have a free version of Microsoft Teams. I personally would advise against it for true business use. Now, you can do basic meetings and chat and collaboration with it, but it's kind of bare bones, and worst of all, it doesn't have the security and compliance features that you get with an actual paid license. So I think for true business use, the paid license is probably the better option. Also, I'd like you to be aware that we're looking at two entirely different things here. We have Microsoft Teams Essentials, and then we have two different tiers of Microsoft 365 Business. Now, if you get Teams Essentials, that will give you the basic access to the functionality of Teams, but nothing else. You might not be familiar with Microsoft 365 Business, but you've probably used Office 365 apps like Word or Excel or PowerPoint. Well, Microsoft 365 Business is actually a cloud-based business suite. It's an entire solution that contains all of those standard Office 365 apps. It's also integrated with Microsoft Outlook, and best of all, Teams is bundled in with it. And each user on the license gets 1 terabyte of cloud storage. So it's really up to you and the needs of your organization. But if you're looking to grow your business, if you'd like to do some cloud-based processing, this is definitely an option that's worth checking out. But whatever you decide, please be aware that in the examples we'll be looking at today, we will be looking at a Microsoft 365 Business license, so if you pick a different option, you may have less features or functionality. When you first go into Microsoft Teams, yours will look different than this because this is the actual Microsoft 365 license that my organization currently uses. So we have already created a lot of things that we have in place. Yours will be blank here, and that's okay. Over on the left, you have a vertical toolbar that gives you a variety of options that you can select from. And down at the bottom, you have this option that says Join or Create a Team. I did want to mention something about the structure of teams. Now, in Microsoft Teams, the basic division is also called a team. And think about that as referring to a group of people who are logically working together or collaborating on a particular segment of the business. So if you create a team and then make people members of that team, you're bringing them together to collaborate. And you can give the team a name that's kind of an overarching description of whatever that segment of the business is. Now, people can be members of multiple teams, and that's okay too. But you start off with that basic designation of a team, and then you kind of go from there. Now, what I'd like to do today is to look at a test team that is already set up, and that's what we're going to use as an example. You won't have anything here. You'll need to create a team, and it's very easy to do. To create a team, you just click on Join or Create a Team, and then click here, and in about 15 seconds, it'll give you a basic shell that you can then flesh out. But for our uses, we'll just go into our test team. Now, the first thing that I wanted to mention with a team is that if you're the person creating it, you are automatically the owner. That means that with ownership privileges, you can delete the team and you can also add or remove other people. So if you want to add someone to a team, come over here to the right and click on the ellipsis, and then go to the option that says Manage Team. And here you have the ability to add a member to your team. So by clicking on Add Member, you can begin typing, and anybody in your organization that you want to add, you can just go ahead and add them. Click Add, and they will get an automated email in just a second. Now, initially, we're setting this person up as a member, but we'll make her an owner instead, and now she has the same privileges that I do as the person who created the team. And now we'll close this out. So now she has been invited, so she'll receive an automated email asking her to join this team. You can also add people as members, and they have basically very similar privileges, but they can't add or remove anyone else, and they also are not able to delete the team. We said that a team is that overall group of people working on a particular segment of the business. Well, a subdivision of a team is what's called a channel. And when you first create a team, it will give you one default channel that is called General. But you have the ability to add as many channels as you would like. And think about channels in this regard. Now, we said that the team itself is kind of tied more to the group of people working together. Channels are grouped by subject, so you can have a separate channel for individual programs or projects. And what's convenient about that is files that you store in those particular channels or conversations that are held there will be specific to whatever that channel is about. It makes it a lot easier to find things that you're looking for instead of going in and seeing a jumble of things that are just thrown together under the team. So by using channels, you can just subdivide a little bit more. If you want to create a channel, come over here to the ellipsis and click and select Add Channel, and you can call it whatever you would like. There we go. And you can also add a description if that's helpful for you. And you can select the privacy settings. This will default to standard, and that means that everybody who is a member of your team will automatically have access to this channel. But you can also select private, and that means that only specific people who are members of your team that you select will be able to access the channel. And that can come in handy if you're dealing with confidential information that isn't necessarily for everybody's eyes, but that still needs to be readily accessible by people who need it. You can also set it up as a shared channel that enables you to share it with anybody in your organization as long as they have access to Teams. Even if they're not a member of the team, they can get in. But we'll go ahead in this example and just do this as standard. We'll click on Add, and now it will automatically add our channel. So we have the original General, and then we have our test channel. Now, when you create a channel, up here at the top, you'll see we have two different tabs, one that says Posts and one that says Files. Posts and Files are the defaults. We can actually add other tabs, and we'll look at that in just a second. First of all, Posts. This is an area where you can essentially add conversations that everybody who is a member of that channel will be able to see. Now, if you wanted to, you can do the @ sign and start typing someone's name if you want to specifically mention them, or you can simply add a message for everyone. When you add that in, you can come over here on the right and click on the send icon, and now we have the start of a conversation. Someone else can come in and they can reply if they would like to. And then you can click send. And so we just continue going, and we're building a conversational thread. And what's nice is it will all be retained here. So this is very helpful if there are discussions among members of a channel about whatever they're working on. This is a great way for everybody in the channel to get the same communication at the same time. Files is something that gives us the ability to actually upload or to create files that are housed in that channel. Now, I did want to differentiate between files up here in the top and files over here in this left taskbar. If you click on files over here, this is actually accessing all of your cloud-based files. So you want to make sure when you're working specifically in your channel that you're clicking up here on Files in the top. And from this point, you have the option to upload a file or to create a new one. If you want to upload one, you can click here. It gives you an option of Files, Folder, or Template. And let's go ahead and select off of my desktop a file to upload. And now that file has been added to this channel in Teams. You also have the ability to create a file. So if you click on New, you can create a Word doc, an Excel workbook, a PowerPoint. And when you do this, you are working in a cloud-based app. Now what's nice is because this is cloud-based, as you're working, you don't need to do anything to save because it's automatically being saved. There is no save button. If we click on Close, the test document that we just created, we can go back into it, and there's what we just typed. So anything that you're doing will constantly be updated and saved in the cloud. Now, another thing that you can do, if you would like, is you can share a file that is in Teams. And to do that, you can click to the left of it, and then click over here on the ellipsis and select Share, and you have a couple of different options. Now, the pencil icon gives you the ability to change what people can do with the document that you're sharing. It will default to Can Edit, but you can also set it so that they can only review it or they can only view it. We'll just go ahead and keep it at Edit. This also will default, basically allowing you to share this with anybody in your organization. Now, if you do that, what that means is that by sharing this document, the person you share it with can then turn around and share it with someone else. And you basically lose control over who has access to the document because anyone who has the document shared with them will be able to access it. That's usually not a good choice. So a lot of times a better option, instead of sharing it with everybody in the organization, is to select people you choose. And that way you are selecting specific individuals that you want to be able to access this and make edits to it. What's nice there is if you select them and they later on forward it to someone else, the link won't work. If they try to share it, someone else will not be able to come in and view or edit the document. It's just a better way to kind of keep a tight grip on it. You can also select people with existing access, and that means that for somebody who already had access to that file, you may want them to be aware that you've made some revisions or updates, and by making that selection, they'll be notified that something is changing. But in this instance, I'll go ahead and we'll do people that you choose, and I'll apply this, and now we'll select who we want to share this document with. And now it's been shared. Now what you can also do is after you've shared a document, you can click on the ellipsis, go to Manage Access, and if you wanted to, you could actually stop sharing. So whoever you shared it with, you could discontinue them having the ability to access or edit the document. Now again, with a new team, Posts and Files are the two tabs that you initially have, but by clicking on the plus sign, you can add additional apps, and I'd like to take a quick look at 3 of them today. And the first is Wiki. Now Wiki is an open text editor that enables you to really collaborate with people on your team. We'll create a new one and we'll just call this New Wiki. And what you can do here is essentially have the basic structure of a document where people can bring their own input and their own ideas. And you have individual sections throughout the document. And you can add your content. So you can add as much text as you would like here. And by clicking here, you can add a brand new section and whatever text goes with it. Now what's nice as well is by clicking here, you have the ability to move sections. So there I just transposed them. And this is a really great way for people to work together to construct documentation or to put ideas together where you can add basically anything that you need and everyone is working together at the same time. You also have the ability to come over here and click on this little balloon dialog, and now you have conversation that opens up, and you can add a message to everybody who is a member of this. And click on the send icon. And now we have a conversation that's running here so people can reply. And again, you have an existing thread that you can follow. So that can be a really, really handy collaboration tool. Another app that's worth looking at is Whiteboard. And this can be for just a pure brainstorming session. So here we can do whatever we want. We'll call this Whiteboard Test. And with Whiteboard, you literally can do almost anything. If we click here, this will give us the different options. We can add a text box if we want to. We have the ability to upload images if we want to. And we have the ability to change things around. We can make this whatever size we would like. You also have the ability to add shapes if you'd like to. You can put them in wherever you would like. And if you click on this icon for inking, you have the ability to select a pen, and you can do a couple of different things here with this one. Let's go ahead and you can vary the thickness of the line. Let's make it about like that. You can change the color if you would like. And now you can draw a circle around something. It's just a really handy tool. You can even upload and embed videos. And again, it's very collaborative, similar to Wiki, but this is definitely more of a brainstorming whiteboard. And another handy app that you can use is Tasks by Planner. And this gives you the ability to really do something that is oriented toward appointments and scheduling. We'll call that Tasks Test. And you have the ability to go in and add tasks, which can be appointments or they can be client visits. There are so many different things that you can do. And we'll have to do an entirely separate tutorial specifically on using Tasks by Planner. But this just gives you an idea of the incredible functionality that you actually have in a Teams channel. Now, a couple of other great things that you can do in Teams. First of all, if you come up here and click on Meet, you can actually do a video meeting. You can invite people to the meeting, and you can do it real time and simply start the meeting and then bring people in, or you can actually schedule a meeting through Microsoft Outlook and send out invites. So that's a very handy tool. You also have access to a calendar, which is integrated with Microsoft Outlook. You have a chat function, which enables you to direct a chat to specific team members, and again, then have a running thread where you can go back and forth and dialogue on things. And it's just one more component that really makes utilizing Teams such a great collaborative tool. And again, what's great about that is if you are working on something here, you can all collaborate real time. It can be a great way for people to each be contributing to whatever you're working on collectively. So as you can see, Microsoft Teams really does offer tremendous opportunities, and we'll be taking a look at a lot of this functionality in greater detail in future installments. But that is basically an overview of Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is a great tool for moving your organization forward. And I'd like to offer another great tool to you, and this one is completely free. You can get it by clicking on the link in the description below this video. It's a PDF called Taking Your Organization's Temperature. It consists of 30 statements about the health of your organization. And as you go through and see how they all apply to you, it'll give you a pretty clear perspective as to how you approach things in your small business or nonprofit. If this episode was beneficial to you, please give us a like. And in the comments below, let me know, do you use Microsoft Teams in your organization? I'd also like to invite you to subscribe to the Valor Excel channel. We have new content on a regular basis, and all of it is specifically geared towards small businesses and nonprofits. I really appreciate you joining me today. I'd like to invite you to come back next time. Remember, at Valor Excel, we're committed to helping you do smart work. Thanks. I'll see you again next time. Goodbye for now.